This is Ravens Flock Talk Podcast, coming to you every week with their thoughts and opinions on each and every Ravens game. Tune in weekly and join the flock.
This is Ravens Flock Talk. I am your host, Brandon, and my dad joins me as my host as well. Week 2 home opener against our division rival, the Cleveland Browns. Relish in it because we will not have another division game for quite some time now, but we were at the game. It was rambunctious. The environment was great. Home openers are always great to go to. And it started off shaky, but I mean, man, the Ravens gave us a lot to cheer for. And me and you, in the section that we were at, learned a new chant because of it. Every first down, they would have this chant. So let's do it on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Move those chains! Move those chains! Move those chains! Whoo! Every first down.
Every first down.
So that is now etched in our memory. I can't forget it for the rest of the year now because of that section. But the environment was great. The people were great. And the Ravens gave us a great game to cheer for. So, yeah, I mean, I have a lot to praise them. You know, you can't really be too negative. You know, you score 40 points in week 1, 41 now, 81 points in 2 games, you know, and the defense looked great. A couple minute changes we'll get into, but what was your thoughts overall?
Well, yeah, a great game, a lot of points, a lot of offense. We already said that our team is based on offense, and it proved it once again. The defense came up to play in game 2, week 2, I mean.
Yeah.
And I gotta say this, that I gotta say that Brandon bought the tickets for me and surprised me, and I want to thank him for that because I had a great time. It was beautiful weather.
Yeah.
The environment was just exciting and exhilarating. It's nothing like going to a game versus watching it on TV. So had a great time, and let's get into it.
Yeah, and also one last thing, too. It was cool because this is the 30th anniversary. That's been the whole theme this year. So all the legends came out at halftime. You know, Ray Lewis, to Jonathan Ogden, to Heap. So you name it, they were there. And, it was cool. So,
yeah, if you didn't know, the National Guard had a flyover with their fighter jets.
Yeah.
The Naval Academy sang the national anthem. So it was, you know, a big show. It was a big show for opening day at home.
Yeah, no one does it like the Ravens. So getting into this game, you know, slow start, a very slow start. I mean, the one big negative that we can all say in unison is that there was no run game at all.
Yeah.
No push. Derrick Henry was not to be found. They weren't helping him out at all. You know, Justice Hill only had 3 carries, so we really didn't try any looks with any other running back to kind of open things up. That's the one thing I really wish they would have done, and I'm still a proponent of Keaton Mitchell. You know, I get it. Henry didn't have it this game, but maybe he could pop something, and then you bring Derrick back on the field and open some things up. But yeah, there was no. It seemed like the Browns' game plan was just all out to stop Derrick no matter what. And by any means necessary.
Yeah, it was surprising because Derrick, he torched him last year, so. You know, we were expecting big things out of him, and they were talking so much trash at Cleveland, and we thought he was going to come out in beast mode like he always does. And I think a lot of it had to do, Brandon, with the offensive line. I mean, they were in the backfield almost as soon as Lamar handed off the ball, they were on top of him. So, but he had key moments where he got first downs and he helped the team. But overall,
I mean, he only averaged 2 yards a carry. So he had a few. I remember one that he broke early in the first half, but only 23 yards. I mean, it was everybody in our section was like moaning and groaning that we couldn't get anything going on the ground.
Yep. And exactly, even with Justice Hill, he couldn't get anything going either. So. He only had 7 yards and 3 carries. So, stats don't lie. It wasn't a running game. It wasn't a game for running for the Ravens.
Yeah, and, kudos to Cleveland for that aspect. But when you play Baltimore, we are a dual threat team, and so we can air it out as well. And in the beginning, you had mentioned in the game, Lamar was kind of off. I remember specifically Bateman play where he threw it outside of him. So they were kind of off.
They weren't
target.
on the same page
Yeah.
a lot of times, and his accuracy was a little off in the first half. But then he came alive.
He came alive, and it was the first touchdown to Wallace in the corner with a guy in his face, mind you, off of the play action. Great velocity, great speed to get it there, and I kind of correlated to a basketball player, a shooter. Once you see that ball go in, then it's go time. Then you're like, okay, your confidence starts to gain. I think that was the case with Lamar. All I needed was just to see that first touchdown. Fall in the breadbasket. Perfect. After that, he had perfect ball placement throughout the entire game, and he was just on fire since then.
Yeah, Brandon, I kept telling you in the stands that I said he's got a nice touch. He's got a nice touch pass now.
Yeah.
I remember in the past sometimes he would kind of like overthrow or throw like a bullet when he should have a touch pass, and he's much improved in that area.
Yeah. And coming out, that's all I really have to say out of halftime. Going into halftime, but coming out of halftime, the huge play should have been a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, and I was yelling for Lamar to just run because he had like 30 yards ahead of him. It was like no one in sight. Just take the guarantee, because on hindsight is 2020, right? He caught the ball, but if that's incomplete, you're like, what could have been if he just kept it? But it turned out in our favor. Again, I don't know how that wasn't a touchdown, but DeAndre Hopkins, man, it's funny. Before the season, I try to keep my pops, if you guys don't know, with the new players. It's tough, the new rookies and the players, but the one guy that he's always known is Hopkins. And you would always say, imagine if we had DeAndre, and I would always say that. We would both say that about Henry too. So now we both have them on the team, and I got to give you props because, granted, he hasn't had a lot of balls thrown to him in the first 2 games, but he's made the most of it.
Yeah, he hasn't been out on the field. They don't put him out on the field unless in critical moments, and I like the fact that they're putting him out there in the red zone most times. But he had 2 fantastic catches, and only he could make them. And not only he could make it, but those are the type of catches that normally the Ravens don't make.
Correct.
So Hopkins is a really, really good weapon that we got.
We really haven't had a jump ball receiver since like Anquan Bolden, if you really want to be picky with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just incredible. Both plays by him. It's just 50-50 balls, but with him, it's more like a 70-30. Like,
I always told you,
you're more confident that he's going to come down with it.
I can't remember the last time he dropped a ball, you know, and he's got such tremendous hands. It's unbelievable. So he's strong, he's tall, he's big, and I love the guy.
My only one worry is that we use him better than we used Odell when Odell was on the team, because like Tylen and Devontae, they weren't on the field in week 1. Now I guess they have more reps because this is Cleveland. I don't know, right? But I kind of see it as, in terms of Bateman, for example, you never know what you're going to get with Bateman. You could get 2 catches. You could get 7 catches for 90 yards. You have no idea. So I know he's our number 2, but I feel like we should really look at DeAndre and Bateman as a 2A, 2B, right? I really don't even want to look at DeAndre as a wide receiver 3. Just have them, unison, rotate, have the same amount of reps, because there should be no reason why DeAndre, I get he had 2 catches for 64 yards, almost the same amount as Zay, and Zay had 75 yards. And think about how many balls Zay caught.
Right.
I want to see, DeAndre get 5, 6, 7 looks throughout the game, because as talented as he is, two looks is nothing.
Yeah, you won't get any arguments out of me with that. So, yeah, I hope they get him more involved with the game, game plan too. And I tell you, those were momentum changes when he caught those 2 balls. And the other one was the block kick. Let's not forget that.
That was the big one, because like I said, offense was not clicking in the beginning. And as you said in the beginning of the podcast, we are an offensive team. So if they're not going, you're looking around like, who's going to pick the team up? And ironically, I wish I voiced this to you in the stadium. I was like, we need a turnover or something to get this team going. And a couple plays later, boom, that block punt.
Got that. A nice interception by Wiggins. So,
Yeah.
that was another momentum change, right when we needed it too. We were kind of flat a little bit. We had some momentum going, and that just put not the dagger, but that was a really good.
It gave us some cushion.
Yeah, it gave us.
Also, another special teams was Wester almost took it to the house.
Yeah.
So special teams, as we always are hard on them, they pulled up through with two big plays that really got this team going, or some excitement in the first half when nothing was going. Right. But to flip on offense, like you said, well, I want to highlight Devontae Walker. Crazy stat, 3 catches in his career, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Perfect throws by Lamar, as I once mentioned, and Tylen kicked it off with the touchdown in the beginning. So,
it's so wild when you're in the stands and watching the game live. Sometimes you miss something and we say, "Who caught the ball?" Because
people stand up.
Yeah, we're standing up. We were blocked a little bit, and we're like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
It was such a shocker.
That was a big the first touchdown to Walker, because the play before Mark Andrews drops it, and at that point it's 4th down, and I'm saying just kick it, because this was after the turnover. I'm just take your guaranteed points. Right. You get an extra possession. Don't gamble. I was like, because if they didn't get that 4th down touchdown,
then the momentum would have switched the other way.
But the crowd would have been moaning and groaning, boos.
Because
they booed a couple times.
Everybody
in the first
our
half.
section would say, "Kick the ball, get the points."
Yeah.
So it was a gamble, and it paid off.
It paid off, but wow.
That was a gamble.
It was a pretty ballsy play, on Todd and John's part. But, the flip to the defense, the Nate Wiggins, as you said, I thought Cheeto had a pretty good game. TJ Tampa had a good game.
Oh, Roquan was all over the field.
Roquan was
I mean, every time they caught a short pass, because, Flacco's a dink and dunk kind of guy.
Yeah.
And they were up on him. I mean, even though it was a man-to-man, Roquan was all over. I was so impressed with him with the number of tackles, and he's always pretty much the leading tackler on the team. And Kyle does his thing too. So it's like 1 and 2 in this game. I was just so impressed with the tackling, the sure tackling.
All over 8 solo tackles.
Humphrey did good.
Double the Malachi and Tavius, who are second in tackles with solo on the team. It's just. He's that cleanup man that you see with Ray Lewis back in the day, and it's ironic when you said that to me in the stadium. You're like, man, Roquan is a beast out there, and then boom, at the right place at the right time to pick up that fumble, the sack from Robinson, and I was impressed. He was moving.
Yeah.
I mean, Roquan was fast, and it's ironically on the opposite side. I'm sure Nate's teammates are getting on his case, because he kind of gassed out at the end on the interception.
It reminded me of Derrick Henry. You don't know how fast this guy is until you watch him, and in person versus TV, man, he just put on the gas on that, man.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I'm looking at his stats. I don't know if you just said it, but 15 tackles, and then the next highest tackler was Starks at 7. So
Roquan, he took this game personally. He said he had friends and family at the game too, so maybe that boosted him up. But tremendous game.
And the other thing I liked about that on defense, Brandon, looking at the stats, is it was pretty evenly distributed, other than Roquan. So everybody got involved, and you could kind of feel it and see it on the field. They were flying all over the place, making solo tackles and making team tackles. It was really nice to see on defense, because Week 1 against the Bills, it was a little bit suspect on the defensive side. So they really came up to play.
It is night and day with the opponent, and this defense is going to be tested next week, Monday night, in front of America again, like we were with Buffalo, with a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
But this was the game that they needed to come out and to dominate and to put up the amount of points they did in the second half, to clean up that first half. This is great momentum heading into the Lions game.
Yeah, and just on an individual basis, the other key player in the game was Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, he was catching balls all over, breaking tackles. He really kept the ball moving, the chains moving, as they say.
He looks like he just reached another level. I know it's only 2 games, but I mean, he's a good player, of course, but he seems like different.
And what I like really is Lamar and Zay are on the same page, and so they have this nice connection. It used to be Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews was just MIA in this game. So
as well as the Buffalo game.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with
it'll be interesting
Mark.
to see when Likely comes back.
Yeah.
Is he now the starter because Mark's not really producing and doesn't seem to be on that same page with Lamar? I don't know. I wouldn't argue it honestly though. Just to have Likely majority of the snaps if this is what we're going to get from our tight end.
I mean, when they called back the touchdown with DeAndre, or said it wasn't a touchdown, I mean, that was a key series because and Mark was involved with it and catches the ball, takes 2 steps, but they punched the ball out. And as you said in the stands, it was Lee Evans where they punched the ball out because he didn't secure it as best he could. Now it's a bang type play. But he's a veteran, Once you take those 2 steps, you got to protect the ball as best you can,
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was bang, but you would like to see sure-handed Mark to fall down.
I mean, you don't see that often with him. So.
Get that confidence back from the whole Buffalo debacle. Some bad news though, Kyle Van Noy, he'll miss. He's not going to play next week, so who knows about the week after that, but. Positive side is that, this is why you draft a guy like Mike Green. He gets more snaps now. And I had said previously, I want to see him on the field more than Kyle because he's younger. He's explosive, supposed to be a first rounder, but fell to the second due to reasons outside of football. So, hey, let's go. And I get Flacco's old, but we have better pressure, forcing him outside the pocket. And, really, there's no difference between Flacco and what we're going to see in Jared Goff, in all honesty, coming up, you know?
The mobility part of it.
Yeah.
But I tell you, for all the old heads out here and the Ravens, Joe Cool, he played very well. He played pretty well, actually.
I don't think he did. This is where me and you disagree.
Well, I mean, I thought he would be. I'll caveat with this. I thought he was faster and more mobile than I thought he would be at his age. That's all I'm going to say. Because he was being pressured at almost every play.
He bought himself some time to just do something or throw it away and not get a sack.
Yeah. So I kind of agree with you. I'll back off a little bit on that, but it was just good to see Joe out there again,
It's just tough in the sense for Cleveland where, Quinshon Judkins, 10 carries, 61 yards, but both teams really weren't doing anything on the ground. So then you're forcing an old Joe Flacco. He threw it 45 times compared to Lamar with 29.
Yeah.
So you're putting a lot of pressure on old Joe against this defense and this environment, and everybody's the fans are all pumped, and it was tough. And the Browns, man, now they got to play the Packers next, so it's not looking good.
But it was funny because I'm glad we're on our side with Lamar, because Joe made some bad decisions in passing down the middle, and that's when he got picked off.
Yeah.
So that's the old Joe we know back in the day.
If you're a Browns fan at this point, you don't want to see old Joe out of the pocket trying to make something happen, throwing it on the run.
Yeah.
You'd rather see him protected in the pocket, stepping into the throw.
And it's almost ironic that now we have a quarterback that when he is on the run, you're not that nervous.
The play's never dead.
It's never dead.
Yeah.
He can be accurate on the run, and then he's the dual threat where he can run the ball.
A good example you pointed out to me was the play where Lamar stiff arms the guy and throws it to Zay. That's a broken play, and Zay's coming back to help his quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just what you get with Lamar.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play on both parts. That's why I said earlier they're on the same page, because Zay knew, and he bursted forward to catch that pass, and knowing it was shorthanded, and hey, it was a great it was a great play.
Yeah. One thing last thing I want to say on the defense before we highlight the Lions real quick is, and I do want to have one thing about our division to talk about. Nate Wiggins, it's wild. If he had scored, right, and it's cool that we actually saw his second interception in person,
right?
Right. Because his first one was the pick 6 against Cleveland at the end of the year, just before the playoffs. He almost did it again against the same team.
Right.
That would have been a crazy stat. First 2 interceptions against the same team, and they're both pick 6s. So I wish he had a little extra juice at the end, but it's good to see, man, Eric DeCosta just hitting on these number 1 picks, man.
Yeah,
these first round picks.
Yeah, and what I liked before the game and after the Bills game on the way over to the stadium, we're saying we need some turnovers by the defense. When's the last time we had an interception or a fumble that we picked up?
Marlon could have had one in some kind of way. It just, deflected off his hands, and the second week in a row ends up in a touchdown.
I know.
Against
us.
That was
crazy.
I
mean,
that's
just
unlucky.
And that was 4th down.
Yeah.
That was on a 4th down play.
Yeah.
And he could have just knocked it down knowing it's 4th down.
But it's crazy because, we didn't get a good look at the replay in the stadium, but he's like locating the ball. I don't even know really what happened.
Kind of like flipped backwards.
I know. I have no idea what happened. So I understand him trying to catch the ball, but
I think
just
when
a freak play.
His momentum going out of bounds, the ball just kind of flipped behind him.
I guess. It was weird.
But I'm just glad we started getting some turnovers so they can get some confidence, especially Wiggins. He's still young. And
carry that into next week against an elite team.
Exactly.
Do it. Okay, it's one thing to do it against Cleveland, but do it against, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Lions, the Packers, the top teams, because that's just what's going to change the games. And even good teams can't come back from,
Yeah, and like I said earlier, team defense, team tackling is going to be the key with these elite teams.
Yeah.
And we show that against Cleveland, and now we got to, evenly distribute tackles and not just rely on Roquan and Kyle all the time for solo tackles. Yeah. So it was good to see the whole team get involved, and hopefully that gives some of the younger guys more confidence, especially Mike Green, and we're off and running.
From halftime to the end of the game, just a well-rounded, all-around performance from special teams to defense to offense. Yeah. So you really can't complain, but some big news I want to highlight that changes everything in this division is Joe Burrow, turf toe, out 3 months. Bengals fans have to be the saddest 2-0 fans right now. Yeah. This changes the divisions a lot, and at this point, I don't see how it could be any other race but us and the Steelers till the end.
Yeah, And they said 3 months minimum, and he's having surgery. So it's not, he's not going to baby it. He's going to go and have surgery right away. And turf toe, as we all know, can be a year, and they even said that. Could be more than 12 months.
Might as well just shut it down for the end of the year.
Because they said they have to baby it today on the
It's wild. I was shocked to hear that news. I could not believe that long, So it changes everything now in this division, especially with the fact that they're first currently,
Yeah.
And they just got off of a miraculous comeback win against Jacksonville. So, wow. You want to play against the best of the best.
Yeah.
And Burrow has had nagging injuries. It's unfortunate, but it only helps our odds in this division that's already been, tough, grinding tooth and nail as it always has been.
Yeah, I hate to see premier quarterbacks like him go down. Even though, we have a fierce rivalry and we want that. We have respect for Pittsburgh.
And we don't like him at all.
Yeah.
But we don't want to,
we don't want to see him get hurt,
We wouldn't want that to happen to Lamar,
Right. So I can only imagine the Bengals fans right now, like you said, and hey, but it happens, and we went through it with Lamar that year, so hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. So next week we will be doing the same thing against the Lions. High-powered offense, star receiver. I just saw three touchdowns. Amon St. Brown. They have an explosive running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. If he gets in the open field, man, watch out. He can make a guy miss, and he just has a burst like no other. Jameson Williams, opposite of Amon-Ra, can hit you deep. So our corners got to be on their P's and Q's, and our linebackers and defensive line. They can beat us on all cylinders. So what I want to see is pressure, make it uncomfortable for Jared Goff, just like the Packers did in Week 1. Because you didn't recognize that Lions team, but now, ironically, both teams now are 1-1, just got off a win to get back into it, to shake the rust off of Week 1. Mm-hmm. So we're both going on a similar track, right?
Yeah.
And they're going into this game on a high note. We're going into this game on a high note. So we'll see. We'll see if this team, is for real against the top contenders.
Yeah, I think this will be a really good test for them.
Yeah.
And it has to be sure tackling, because in the past, sometimes we in the secondary, we don't have sure tackling, and we're going to have that if they get
have to, because everybody's fast on this team.
Yeah.
They are fast.
Yep.
and deadly.
So we'll need our corners to really tackle well if they get by the linebackers. So
Yeah, so great win, great bounce back win, and we will be off and running. Sucks we have to wait an extra day Monday night, but hey, prime time, the black on black, man. I mean, I like our odds because we're home, and I mean, our record, I don't know what it is, but we're pretty good black on black underneath the lights.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a great game, and can't wait. And tune in next week when we face the Detroit Lions.